Hello and welcome back to CarNichiWa.com. We are at 6 months with our long-term test car, the 2016 Subaru Outback. And let's go for a little ride and I'll talk about what's been going on. Let's go. Right now we're at a bit of an off-road trail here, so it's going to be a little bit bumpy. And this is a gravel and dirt road. And this is really a good way to talk about one of our favorite features about the Outback, which is the all-wheel drive system. During the past 6 months, because we live in Los Angeles, we don't get a lot of rain, but we've driven all over the place and down to San Diego several times. And whenever we can, we try to do just a little bit of light-duty off-road driving. And we've driven, I think I already said, about 4,000 miles so far. This is a lease car. We have a lease on it, and our cap on the lease is 10,000 miles per year, so we don't want to really exceed that or it gets kind of expensive. So let me pull over here and talk about the things that we like and the things that we've discovered during our 6-month really long test drive so far. Like I said, we're at 6 months. The things we like so far: we really like the all-wheel drive. It has benefits not just on off-road surfaces, but also on regular dry roads too. It makes the car handle really, really well, and it's just a real nice thing to have, especially when it rains here. We really like the eyesight safety systems. We talked about that in our other video. We have the 2 cameras here, and there's a lot of great safety features that have come into play many times when we've been driving the car for the past 6 months, like the lane departure warning. We haven't really used the automatic emergency braking, but it's notified us a couple of times. And we like the paddle shifters. This has a continuously variable transmission, as we talked about before, and the paddle shifters replicate shifts, even though it's kind of not really shifting. But you're able to use them by just putting the transmission into the manual mode and shifting up and down. We also like the very smooth ride. There's a lot of wheel travel and a lot of ground clearance in this vehicle because it's designed basically to go in places like this. What could stand improvement? Well, really only 2 things that we've found so far. I'm not sure if you can see that. Because we live at 1,200 feet above sea level, we're going up and down a really big hill every day. And the 4-cylinder engine does a good job, but when we tested the 6-cylinder on the Outback that we had a while ago, the same generation as this model, it did a better job. Now, the trade-offs, of course, are this gets good mileage. We're getting around 20 miles per gallon. It has a really super long driving range, almost 400 miles before fill-ups, which is fantastic. So can we live with a little bit of lack of power on the hills? Yeah, and we're doing it so far, and we're okay with it. It would be nice if Subaru perhaps offered a 4-cylinder turbo, which they don't in the US at the moment, but that would be a good thing. The other thing, and this is personal because everybody's different, is the front headrest design. These are anti-whiplash headrests, of course, and for me, I find it difficult to get a comfortable driving position that isn't pushing my head forward a little bit. And during a week-long test, like we normally get our test cars, it's pretty much okay, but after 6 months, just like anything else, little things get magnified, and it kind of bugs me a little bit. Now, let me also say our other driver, our managing editor, doesn't have a problem with it. So not everybody's the same, and we suggest go try it out, go test it, and see what you think. But so far, we've done a very pretty much encompassing loop of all of Southern California. We've been on all different types of roads and all different types of conditions, and we really think that this is just a super great car. For us, we do give it overall, let me turn the page here. a thumbs up after 6 months and about 4,000 miles worth of driving. And now let's look at some of the other little things we found out during our test drive, our extended long-term test drive of the Subaru Outback so far. How about maintenance? Well, in the first 6 months, we made 3 trips back to the dealer. One was expected for a free oil and filter change, which was really nice for Subaru Pacific. The other one was to replace a squeaking drive belt, the main accessory drive belt, and that was no charge, of course. And then the third one was a recall for a software upgrade. So, total cost for maintenance in the first 6 months is a big fat 0. Going through a car wash? Well, there's a couple of things we need to remember before we go through an automated car wash, because we have the Subaru EyeSight system. Before we go through a car wash with our Outback that has the EyeSight safety system, we turn off the pre-collision braking system, which is this button right here. I'm going to press it, and I'm going to show you in the instrument cluster the warning symbol that comes on. That's the tachometer. Now I'm pressing it. You just hold the button for 2 seconds and it'll say off, and now it's off. And you can go through an automatic car wash without the brakes automatically applying. Then when you get outside the car wash and you want to turn it back on, you just press and hold the button again, and it goes off. This only applies to Outbacks that have the EyeSight safety system, and ours does. And like they always say, be sure to consult your owner's manual for more information. Going surfing? You bet. The Outback has plenty of space for toting boards inside the car. We just folded down the right side of the split rear seat. The board fits with ease, and there's still room for 3 people. Cowabunga, dude. Our dogs really like the Outback, and we've made a really nice area for them in the back seat. We have an aftermarket hammock, as you can see, and they have their little beds there, and they really like riding in the car, so they gave our Outback 2 paws up, or maybe 4 paws up, right? So thanks again for joining us in our 6-month report of our long-term 2016 Subaru Outback. We'll be back with another edition, and until then, be sure to check out our full story on CarNichiWa.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.